In today's news, Red Meat Industry Services has announced that orders for foot and mouth disease vaccines can be placed via its established veterinary ordering platform. The platform provides a traceable route for orders, giving access to 4.5 million doses of FMD vaccines from Biogenesis Bago, and a further 2 million due to arrive in the country shortly. Orders must be placed by veterinarians, but both the veterinarian and producer for whom the order is placed must be in possession of valid global location numbers. The vaccines are sold at a price of 46 Rand, which includes delivery, and of which 1 Rand goes to the relevant veterinary practice. It is not possible to purchase individual doses, and only full bottles containing 60 doses can be ordered. Producers who wish to make use of this service must do so through their veterinarian and cannot place orders themselves. Suid-Afrika is weer 'n netto-invoerder van sekere suiwelprodukte soos afgeroomde en volroom melkpoeier, nadat die land in 2025 'n netto-uitvoerder van suiwelprodukte was. So lei Melk SA se jongste kwartaallikse melkmarkoorsig vir die tweede kwartaal van 2026. Handel met die Suider-Afrikaanse douane-Unie lande bly 'n prioriteit, aangesien Suid-Afrika se buurlande 'n belangrike mark vir plaaslike suiwelprodukte bly. Verkope aan die SADU-lande oorskry by tye Suid-Afrika se suiweluitvoere na die buiteland. Die oorhoofse prentjie vir suiwel lyk belovend, met hoër verkoopsvolumes en pryse oor al 9 die geëvalueerde produkte. Ons hoor wat Bertus van Heerden van die melkprodusente-organisasie oor veranderinge in die onverwerkte melksektor sê.
The significant shift in higher volumes of unprocessed milk channeled or allocated towards the production of UHT milk stems from the regulation that milk from FMD-infected cows needs to be double pasteurized, and most of that milk ended up in UHT milk. That also reflects then in the fact that less milk was allocated to the manufacturing of milk powder, and that rolled over into increased milk powder imports. In the Government Gazette dated 8 July last month, new regulations were announced that indicated that the process of manufacturing milk powder also qualifies as an adequate treatment to treat and utilize milk from FMD-infected cows. And based on that, one can foresee that in the third and fourth quarters of this year, milk allocation to a large extent will normalize, and that less reliance will have to be placed on the import of milk powder.
En dit was Bertus van Heerden van die melkprodusente-organisasie. One of the multinational trading members of the South African Grain and Oilseeds Trade Association, SACOTA, has succeeded in concluding an export agreement for approximately 200,000 tons of soybeans to China. The soybeans will be exported there in November this year. According to SACOTA, this provides an important boost for the local industry and opens the door to future opportunities. So far this year, the local Crop Estimates Committee has predicted a record soybean harvest in all its estimates. Earlier this year, China unilaterally removed import tariffs on agricultural products from Africa, offering major benefits for the South African soybean industry. SACOTA did, however, caution that industry stakeholders must be aware of high local prices, which could affect demand and transactions. Agri SA Weskaap en die Inmaak Vrugteprodusente Vereniging het saam 'n beroep op die Premier groep gedoen vir dringende gespreksvoering. Dit volg nadat Premier bekend gemaak het dat hy die inmaak van sagte vrugte by sy Tulbag aanleg voor die 2026 en 27 oesseisoen gaan staak. Die organisasies het premier versoek om sy bestaande verpligtinge teenoor produsente na te kom en om nie enige onomkeerbare stappe te neem wat die aanleg en die breër vrugtebedryf kan benadeel nie. Die Tulbagh inmaakfabriek verwerk jaarliks tot en met 60.000 ton vrugte, waarvan 300 miljoen rand se vrugte van boere aangekoop word. Produsente kan nie hoogs bederfbare vrugte kort voor oestyd na alternatiewe markte herlei sonder ernstige finansiële gevolge nie. Die uitvoerende hoof van Agri Weskaap, Jannie Strydom, sê die samesprekings moenie net oor een fabriek gaan nie, aangesien die totale landboubedryf geaffekteer word. Hy het gesê dit is nodig om na alternatiewe kommersiële opsies te kyk. South Africa's wheat tariff has been amended from 153 rand and 70 cents per tonne to zero. The zero tariff was published in the Government Gazette on 6 August. This comes nearly 3 months after the wheat tariff trigger came into effect on 12 May. The South African Grain and Oilseed Trade Association, SACOTA, says although the zero tariff is welcomed, it is disappointing that so much time had to pass after the tariff trigger came into effect in May. The organisation says this points to inefficiencies in the current wheat tariff administration process. According to data from the South African Grain Information Service, SAGIS, consumers had to fork out an additional 66 million rand due to unnecessary duties. The Wheat Forum Steering Committee earlier requested the National Agricultural Marketing Council to establish a Section 7 committee in terms of the Marketing of Agricultural Products Act to investigate the tariff issue and other challenges in the wheat industry. The committee has since been appointed, and the hope is that the efficiency and long-term sustainability of the country's wheat industry will be addressed. Die Brangus SA Beestelersgenootskap het hierdie week verskeie toekennings tydens sy Gala Diner by die Afridome in Parys gemaak. Leonard Roberts van Quaggas Brangus is aangewys as die De Kalb Brangus teeler van die jaar, as ook die Voermol Kleinkudde teeler van die jaar. Jimmy Roberts van Triangle Farms is die Voermol Medium Kudde teeler van die jaar, met RC Malherbe van Rukama Brangus wat die De Kalb Grootkudde teeler toekenning ontvang het. Die Brangus Genootskap se nuwe raad is ook tydens die diner bekendgestel. Kosie Smith en François Scholes behou hul posisies as president en visiepresident onderskeidelik. 2 nuwe raadslede is Martin Kamfer, wat die leiersels by Roy Answorth oorneem, en De Wet Boysen, wat by Johan Bloemeris oorvat. Die ander raadslede bly onveranderd. The South African Agricultural Machinery Association, SAMA, says in its latest press release that estimated retail sales of tractors could be up to 10% lower than in 2025. 517 tractor units were sold in the Southern African region in July. This is 31% fewer than in July last year, while sales for the year to date are approximately 6% lower than last year. 11 combine harvesters were sold in July, which is 5 more than the 6 units sold in July last year. In South Africa, tractor sales in July did not differ much from sales in July last year. The trend across the entire Southern African region will become clearer once the summer crop harvest has been completed. Die jaarlikse NWK skoolskoenprojek het vanjaar weer 2 laerskole in die Noordwes voorsien. Die projek is in 2012 deur Landboumaatskappy NWK van die been afgebring en tot dusver het meer as 7100 leerders al daarby gebaat. Leerders van die Regotsogile Laerskool in Bykerville en Hakboslaagte Laerskool in Kolini het in Julie elkeen 'n paar splinternuwe skoene, sokkies, 'n missie, 'n seilsakkie en skoenversorgingsprodukte ontvang. Die projek het ook aan elke skool 4 springtoue, sokkerballe en netballe geskenk. NWK se direkteur van ekonomiese ontwikkeling, Benedict Modise, het leerders tydens die oorhandiging toegespreek en hulle aangemoedig om regop en sterk te loop en nooit op te hou droom nie. Nog net 2 weke, dan is dit weer tyd vir die Swartland Skou in Moreesburg. Die 92ste aflewering van die skou vind van 2 tot 5 September plaas en spog weer met 'n vol program. Onder meer die Wes-Kaapse kwalifiserende streeksjeugskou. Die skou bied ook oudergewoonte sy gewilde beesafdeling met raskampioenskappe en 'n interraskampioenskap wat op 5 September plaasvind. Vanjaar se Swartland Skou sluit ook 'n opwindende boer-bok kampioenskap in, as ook die immer gewilde perdeprogram. Kaartjies is op die Swartland Skou se webwerf te koop. En dit is dan vandag se nuus.